Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and others. And welcome to episode 96 of Waved Yellow. We've got an absolutely jam-packed show tonight, full of South African news. Remember, the number 19. Our guest is Terry Wilford. Terry, how's it? How are you?
Good,
thanks for joining us.
Again, thank you for having me.
We'll talk about that. Gary, how's it? Are you alive?
Colin, I am.
You are?
Yes.
You are?
Here.
You am?
Yes. Jeez.
And we made it.
Popping online like it's going out of fashion.
Of course.
Welcome, everybody.
This is a global show.
Hola.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Remember, if you've got any questions, queries, or comments, or like our live audience, we're back at the higher ground. If you want to photobomb us, people, you're more than welcome to. Apparently, there's a bet. I bet that the bet goes against the photobomber because somebody bet somebody else to bomb the photo, and I reckon it's not going to happen because you know what? It ain't going to happen. Great weekend of motorsport. Unbelievable. Charlie Leclerc. It is he, Leclerc, who went and got his elbows out. Terry, how cool was that? Super frickin' aggressive racing, and Charlie Leclerc wins.
Yeah, listen, and I think he wanted it badly. I think the Tifosi wanted it badly, and he delivered on what was needed. So I feel a little bit sorry for Sebastian. You know, he's made a few errors in that, but you know what? At least we had the Red Army there and standing on the top step. So it's
some say he had a great drive as a backup driver.
You know what?
Come on, Terry, put it down there.
You know what? Unfortunately for Sebastian, I think Charles Leclerc is something special, and you might be feeling it. And you know, there's one thing that guys always say: if you can't win, make sure you can beat your teammate. And I think he's battling there, but in that department at this moment in time.
Well, when your number 2 driver laps you, it's got to feel fairly cuck. I must admit. Other really
the
cool
jingle
stuff.
jar will come out.
Gary, I don't give a flying.
Careful.
So, for those of you in South Africa, this wonderful country of ours, change your attitude because it is a lacquer place. It's summer. It's coming out there. I forgot my short sleeve shirt, Gary. My T-shirt, brother. You've got to stretch it out over your boop so they can see mobile. Mobile one. Do yourself a favor. Take your device that you're watching on and go and check the moon because it is magnificent. And after the show, feel free to go out and let out a full-on howl at the moon because it is quite therapeutic. It is, oh, behold, the golden orb. What golden orb rises above us at the higher ground? It is absolutely fantastic. The other seriously good news, Gary, is we're coming to the end of NASCAR season. Kevin Harvick goes and wins. Harvick is my man. Greg Sharman, you'll know this. Greg's in London, a great follower of the show, and thank you very much for all your support, Greg. And the news you send us out of the land of, are they in or they're out? Do they have a prime minister? Do they don't? I mean, what the...
Yeah,
these guys can't make up their mind. Do they want to stay or do they want to go?
Yeah, Greg,
anyway.
are you guys going to be around as Britain or whatever it is next week?
Well,
whatever you're going to call
Britain, but it won't be Great Britain. But anyway, we're not allowed to go there because apparently people get upset with that. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. Just listen.
What's your opinion on Brexit?
Listen, I think it's got positives and negatives. So I'll leave it at that.
So you sitting firmly on the fence?
Like Switzerland, neutral.
I'll tell you what, I think we're screwed if it happens, but anyway, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens that we send. You know that I bought some nachos the other day, Gary? For those of you on our international audience, you may call them tangerines. We call them nachos. We don't call them barbecues. We call them bras. Australia, you got to learn it's a bra. But other really good news, Matt De Benedetto. He's my new NASCAR guy.
Greg Sharman says, who F knows?
Well, you see, the pommies don't know. And
Greg, the jingle jar's going to come out for you, okay? So, and you, since you're living in pounds, we'll start off with £1 per F word.
So Matt De Benedetto.
Must start collecting it.
19 rand, there we go.
Gary, my new hero in NASCAR, Matt De Benedetto, he resigned or he got fired because whatever, and they needed a place for Christopher, but it's complicated. Bottom line is Paul Menard, he of the Menard hardware store, they're like basically Builder's Warehouse, except that they've got staff that care, that they've got people that actually want customers, and they run a good store, but otherwise it's just like Builder's Warehouse. Builders, if you wonder why your bottom line is suffering, do management from Builders, anybody know them? Go into your stores because they suck at the moment. Anyway, Matt signs for the Wood Brothers in the number 21 Ford, so he jumps from Toyota to Ford. And the real thing, Gary, is that he now joins the Penske family. So
In a
Ford.
In a Ford. Okay.
In a Ford.
First on race day.
Yeah. Found on the rubbish dump, some say.
Fix or repair daily. Doesn't matter.
But you drive a Ford, don't you?
Absolutely. First on race day.
And you've got Ford V8 in that V8 supercar, powered by Mobil 1. Andreas Hadjimitriades. Did I get it right?
You got it right. Absolutely. Yeah, he's going to be impressed.
Andreas is a great guy. Right, moving along. So the filter. Did you see the filter? It went ka-ching. There was a sound in my head as the filter came down.
Waffling is taking
That's
control.
not, Gary, we're not waffling. What else happened? Stewie White came 10, 11, and 12 in the 3 races that they had. But he's still joint third in the championship.
Yeah, but it allowed the guy in fourth place to come up and join us. And there's 2 of them in 3rd position.
That was Moses,
Yeah.
because Moses came 4th in his triumph. Apparently.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't a triumph, it was a Delara.
A Delara, yeah. F4. As in Formula 4.
You see,
So, okay, between you,
Moving
Greg, and
along.
myself, we each guilty of one strike.
Moving along. And anyway, there was no other drivers. Terry, we asked you here because the Emerald Speed Fest, the Time Attack 1 mile, Master of the Mile, has been postponed. Not cancelled, it's been postponed. And we thought that it would be really cool if you, the man who knows stuff, and you've been vocal, you've been punting it, and you came and shared with our global audience of 3,497,823 people live. This is international media. We thought that you should come and... Why has it been postponed?
So, Colin, with obviously this is quite a big event. This is a big event for us. We've as Mesa Frankfurt, we've just had the Festival of Motoring. As shows goes, it's the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, and that. And we wanted Emerald Speedfest to be the success that we believe that it will be. However, last week we sat in a meeting. We spoke with MSA. We spoke with our board in Germany, and with what is going on at this moment in time. We just felt that from a safety point of view, it might not have been conducive to have the event. We don't know what's going to happen. We know obviously with trucks, we've got guys that were going to be traveling from Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, all that sort of thing. The road heading down to the casino and back and that, and it was decided with ourselves and with MSA that safety is paramount and priority, and that's not only for our competitors but also for our spectators. That that would be travelling down there, and we decided that it would be probably the best thing for us to just postpone it. I can tell you now that
you talk about postponing. You're looking at an early Gary, what's the year now? 2019.
Yeah.
Early 2020 date. Date hasn't been finalised yet. We understand that. News is hot off the press, so it's fresh. Things haven't been finalised yet. We understand that. I hate it when they talk about protest action. It's frickin' riots and insurrection that's going on, and I'm led to believe, and you may not be able to say it, but Gary, I can say whatever I want to, that our sources tell us that on weekends in particular, trucks are targeted, people going to the venue are targeted. It's not lacquer, and you've got to look after spectator and competitor safety.
Yeah, and we obviously got a lot of phone calls from our competitors. I mean, up until the date of us postponing it, we had 62 entrants paid up and that, and great cars and that. And a couple of guys phoned and said, are you guys worried? And we said we absolutely are. It's a big investment for us, and we made it was a call that was made that, guys, let's just postpone it. We're busy with MSA at the moment. There's obviously a lot of discussions around calendars. We got to fall in line with motorsport, because we're not only, there will be some road cars, but we're all about the motorsport competitors that'll be taking part. So MSA is guiding us. They're the guys who will grant us the permit to hold the event, and we're just basically waiting on them to say, right, this is the sort of date that we can offer you. But they have assured us that we will definitely be within February as such.
I'm hoping that MSA have spoken to a school teacher, because school teachers are really great at scheduling stuff and putting together a timetable. And we've had this current year, Gary, where you've got clashes of dates that are, let me put it mildly, it's an F-up. And that's about as mild as I can go. I feel a lot stronger than that, in that you have teams that run cars in the South African cross-country series and in endurance series, and when you have them on the same date, they can't compete. So it's a bit of a stuff. But I'm led to believe that Anton Roux, the new leader of MSA, will or has stamped a little bit of authority and is going to make good stuff happen. Go, Anton. We're still waiting for you to, hold on, Gary, we're still waiting for you to accept our invite to sit in the hot seat. That's always the middle seat. Is it burning your bum yet?
It hasn't got hot yet, but it's getting there.
It's coming. Because the difficult questions are coming.
Sure.
Okay, just some info for you, quickly.
Just a quick one, Gary.
At the moment, we've got 2 international drivers that are sitting in different parts of the world. One is in Italy. Stu White says, good evening, guys, gents, and everything else like that.
Hey, Ginger.
We're sitting in a bar with about 50 people watching with us. As my dad can't hear anything, if the volume is at I'll sort that out. But that's
is Dad a little bit, he can't hear anything because he's had a bra and a few cool drinks.
Yeah, okay.
Go, David. My boy, enjoy Italy. I'll tell you what, Gary, Italy must be freaking amazing. And the other country that we've got...
We got Saul Hack, who's floating somewhere else in Europe.
Hello, Saul. We know where you are.
Yeah,
you told us not to tell, we won't.
We won't tell, but we did have a chat with him a bit later. Some exciting news coming from him for later on in this year. But as we promised, we won't say anything. So we're leaving that one as is. But it's done.
That goes to page 2, because page 2 is quite exciting. We want to get there. Terry, so bottom line, Speedfest, move to beginning of next year. Suck it up. If you upset... Gary, have you got our supply of cement pulls? We've got branded waved yellow cement pulls now. Yeah. They're available on special offer, where they come in bulk packs for those of you who are easily offended, and we will even mail them for free to you. Terry, moving swiftly along. Your other life is a Ford driver in V8. You've got a bunch of characters there. You've got an old guy, Ben Murumduet, who is a race winner at 73, I think it is. You've got WWE star Rolf Duplessis. You've got Mr. Smoothie yourself in there. The future of V8
and
supercars.
The flying Italian.
Were they Italian?
Yeah, the flying Italian. Mr.
Franco De Matteo. Buonasera. Yeah. So the future of V8 supercars with Mobil 1 on board is pretty secure now. Your field is growing. I see there's some press releases, new cars coming, and when are you going to get some really quick kids in there?
It's funny that you say that, because that's actually one of our drives at this moment, is to obviously, we want young blood to come through, and it's a work in progress. We got some really, really exciting news. In fact, it was just this week that we got it, that Mobil 1 V8 Supercars has now officially been put onto the full sponsorship program of Mobil 1 worldwide. So,
and that comes out of Germany, eh?
The thing is that I'm not 100% sure where the actual sponsorship program is held, but immediately that opens up the door that we will have a permanent slot on Mobile One, the grid. All communications will go out worldwide as far as results, anything that's happening in Mobile One V8 Supercars. So,
it's pretty cool, hey?
Yeah. So it's what started off as, and we go back. It's Westbank Modifieds, Westbank V8 Supercars. Now it's Mobile One V8 Supercars, and it's really, really international now. So you'll be seeing on Mobile One, the grid, just before Formula One and that sort of thing, our results. They'll show some of our racing, and that's a big thing for us, So I hope that sort of thing will attract younger guys to want to be involved in it. Our cars are not really as expensive as people think they are, not only to purchase but actually to run. I'm hearing about other smaller formulas that budgets are just,
Well, I've heard figures of the there's words, Gary, that slipped my mind. The vicarious living of fathers who are throwing 2.5-3 million rand at go-karts. These oaks, guys, if you're spending that money on go-karts, you are off your frickin' rocker, because that's stupid.
Yeah. These guys are turning this platform into personal messages for Terry. We're becoming a secretary. Terry, Ian Richards says, please give me a call ASAP once done with iLab. But it's waved yellow.
Brought to you by iLab. And we have some great news coming a little bit at the higher ground, in the grounds of St. Stithians. But not for long, because we have exciting news. In my other life, we'll get there. These V8 supercars, they run 5 litre, 5 and a bit litre.
We're up at 6 litre.
Oh my God! It's like chicks' bums; they get bigger each year.
Absolutely. It's all about life in the life in the engine. So yeah, we run 6 litres.
And how many horsepowers have they got?
Colin, I would want to say conservatively we're running at about 640 horsepower.
And what do they weigh, Terry?
They weigh 1240 with driver.
So if you're a fat ass driver, Rolf, you've got to cut down, get some Fedric cut, brother, and take some other stuff to get rid of those muscles. But shave the moustache,
did you give him before
and you
the
can
show?
go like faster.
Eh?
So no, Rolf is our WWE
champion.
He is, and he's a character.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's our champion. Rolf has got a support structure that scricks for nix, as he tells us, and
the whole around Fontaine.
And actually, Rolf was in hospital. He's been in hospital for the last week.
Really? I mean,
so glad that he's out. He's on the mend.
What was his issue?
It's old wrestling injuries, as such, I believe. So
is that what they call them, wrestling injuries?
Talking about hospital, Rolfie, get better, but we need to see you there. Bring that moustache, bring that rolling Ronfontein attitude, because actually you're a major character. We've got over the time that you moved me off the track deliberately, and I've got over that. I don't feel much about it, except anyway, Rolf, we wish you back. Talking about hospitals,
but we hear it was
better.
a racing incident, Colin.
Rolf called it a racing incident.
That's all.
Let me tell you, it was an R word. It was revenge of note, because I bumped him just a little bit. We touched. But before you go somewhere else, Gary, talking about hospital and recovery, Roger Pierce, we need you back. You better get well, you old fart, and get your stuff sorted so that you can come back to SA Endurance Series and run the finest series in the world. Roger, get strongerer and betterer. Gary.
Okay, it's just a quick one. Clara Piermitsa says, super cool, Terry. Well done on the sponsorship for the series. It's an awesome job. And then
there's a guy.
Sean Heidemann.
There's a guy, Gary.
Yeah.
Piazza's.
Claudio.
We need to get him here, because there's some stuff he's doing. I always get confused between. I mean, all Italians look the same to me.
Claudio
and Paolo. And buongiorno.
One teaches, one builds.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we should get them both, and won't get confused.
He's a great. Claudio's actually a great driver coach. If you look at I got to say it. If you look at David Perrell's results, I think it all started off with Claudio Piazza Musa being the great driver coach that he is, and I think what he did was he actually taught David that, how to coach, and that's something that he's doing overseas. I think.
Yeah, because now he's Coach David. He's got the hat.
Absolutely. He's got his hat and the sunglasses. And he's doing a good job actually teaching people how to drive. And I think it's actually earning him a bit of a living while he's, supporting himself doing the rounds in Europe, which we all know is challenging as it is,
There's a lesson. He sells up, goes there, needs to earn some money, and ends up coaching and earning a couple of euros. That part about driver coaching, and there's something about race drivers with, people who maybe think they can drive and seem to think there seems to be a resistance at some level in South Africa about coaching and teaching and guidance and leave me alone, but I know how to drive.
I think everybody out there racing, I don't know. I think it's a funny thing. You think to yourself, well, you're going to go and race, and I think when that coach comes in, it's the fine tuning of you believing that you're a good driver, and actually showing you where you're wrong and perhaps where you're right.
Or even just sharing something different, a different approach, floating a car into a corner, and some of the bits and pieces to, particularly with attitude of car, and just like, fine-tuning, showing you stuff, because we all think we know everything, but the clever oaks know what they don't know.
Yeah, sure. And we just had our last race at Festival of Motoring, and one of the guests that we had there at in the mobile entertainment area was the paddock area as such was Matthias Ekstrom, and I don't think I've ever been shouted at so much after a race, or coming second, telling me, this, that, spinning up the tires and that, and you sit back and you think, it all actually starts to make sense, and there you're dealing with a 3 times DTM champion who's telling you about keeping the wheel straight and what you're doing. So,
keeping the wheel straight? You mean the steering wheel straight? And because maths and science. Hello, Mark. Mark, the burger, the king of hamburgers in Joburg, and particularly here at the higher ground in the grounds of St. Stithians. Maths and science and trigonometry is really lacquer, because if for every bit of cornering force you've got a drag on it, and just it brings me into a question I've wanted to know: how difficult are those cars to drive really quickly?
In motorsports, it's you get to a point and then you start scratching for a tenth of a second or whatever it may be, or it's and that can be the difference between, I suppose, being third on the grid, first on the grid, or whatever it may be. So you can get to that lap time, and I think when you start really, and that's where you start looking at a driver coach of fine tuning, where to find that extra little bit to get you just that bit further up on the grid. So. As far as I think there's one thing about a V8 supercar. It's got big rubber, it's got huge power,
and it makes lacquer black stripes when you come out of the corner with your foot buried,
which I've been told looks great, but it's not cool for your results.
And it also screws the tire up, puts an extra heat in them, and but it's lacquer.
Yeah, of course, it looks cool. It certainly looks cool. They throw flames, and you throw it sideways. Rolfie's a champion at sideways, laying rubber, tacky as he calls it. But as far as driving that car goes, it's a 4-speed manual gearbox, no ABS, bit of power steering. It's all mechanical, so you get a very good feel. And I think it's a good grounding for, I've raced a pedal shift type car before for a long period of time. When you're doing a 24-hour race and that.
You just go back to that, and you gloss over it a little bit. There was a Ginetta GD3 with Greg Mills car with Sarl, Jan Lammers, Paul Ricard. 24 hours, big deal.
Yeah, it was a superb event. For me, probably the best time of my life in my motorsport career. I didn't start young in go-karts and things like that. I only really got into it at the age of 20 years old.
We've got to talk to Larry about that.
Yeah, it was all about him at that stage. He was focused there, driving Audi Quattros and that. And I tell people, you get nervous about getting a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, say, right, wake up, get ready, you're out now for a 2-hour stint. And it's just like, I remember Sorrel saying you absolutely love it at that time. The car's cool, the tires stay nice and cool, you get a flow of the track, small little things that glow at you in the middle of the night, because there's no lights on the track as such, so you start picking up apexes, everything just sticks out at you. So it's a.
Do you still love driving at night?
To be honest with you, that was the only opportunity that I've had to race at night. I remember 2 o'clock in the morning, knock on the window, you're up, get ready, 2:30 in the car, 2-hour stint. I haven't done anything like a Blancpain race or 24 hours like that, but Creventic Series was a hell of an experience for me. I might not get the opportunity again, but certainly it's one of those things. It's a box. You tick the box and you say it was an unbelievable experience.
Now, your international racing ambitions are not on hold, and we know that you're not the kind of guy who just sits back and lets things happen to you and then wonders what happened. You are led to believe that our sources tell us, I am told reliably, that you're looking at doing some serious stuff down under shortly. There's, was I allowed to say that?
Listen, we are working on some stuff at this moment in time. A lot of it will obviously be based on budget, because as it is, money talks in motorsport. There's drives available and all that sort of thing. So we have a few plans in place. If we can make them happen, you guys will be the first to know about it. But whole times, there's some good things in the pipeline that could come about.
Terry, we are great fans of race drivers who want to go and make stuff happen and celebrate the fact that in international racing, and we're going to talk about that just now. I told you about the number 19. We're getting to number 19. We wish you all the best in it, and really hold thumbs that you can put together and I nearly said what I'm not supposed to say, because apparently we were told our legal department has made me sign a piece of paper. But what car are you looking at?
Colin, as far as that document that you signed, I'd rather keep that quiet for now. But I just want to say, the 9 hours coming up.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Who are you talking to about the 9 hour?
There was a bit of talk in that, but I think maybe what we should really focus on is the guys who are definites that are going to be taking part. And I'm super ecstatic to hear that there's going to be quite a few entries of South African cars.
Yeah. Have a look at page 2 of the script.
That little segue that just moves us from international race driver, race star, style icon of note, natural blonde, Terry Wilford. He of the kingpin of Mobile One. What does it say? V8 supercars. I just got to remember it. Absolutely wonderful. So the number 19. We talk about the 9 hour at Kyalami, and the 9 hour has picked up, the international racing scene has picked up on the 9 hour and is actually going bedorned about it at the moment. The cars have left Suzuka and they're on their way. Let's just encapsulate what this is. It's a round of the Intercontinental GT Championship. 5 iconic circuits on 5 continents. So I just want to go through them. You've got the Bathurst 12 hour, California 8 hour, which probably won't be in California next year. They're talking about Circuit of America, and they're trying to find the sweet spot in America, because America's full of it. But anyway, it probably will be at Circuit of America next year. Spa 24 hour, an iconic race that has got to stand up there in sports GD racing, well, right up there at the top. It has become the new Le Mans for teams. This year they had 73 cars running. All the manufacturers were there. It was absolutely magnificent. Suzuka 10 hours just happened, and Kyalami 9 hours. So Kyalami 9 hours, guys, there's a lot of talk, a lot of things that are going down. It's the last round of the Intercontinental GT Championship, and just going into it, the championship has not been decided. Just like the GT Masters Championship, correct, that Kelvin van der Linde is going to win, go boy. Maxi Book in the Intercontinental is sitting on 58 points, Rafael Macchiello on 55, and then listen to this, Fred Vervish, Maxi Goetz on 52, Dirk Werner and Dennis Olsen on 48. So there's 6 drivers in there with a chance of winning it. It's a mathematical chance. I reckon it's going to come from Maxi Book, Fred Vervish, and Raffaello. Donatello's not racing, and neither of any of the other Ninja Turtles. Gary,
Listen,
it's just
why
the way
don't
it
you now
is.
just take a little walk down over there and just let him go all by himself, because he's doing okay.
I can't believe production is actually allowing this.
Just say that again.
I don't know. I was just saying, fantastic.
You were talking about production.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20 of them. They're all looking at you funny at the moment. So
I don't, actually. So, right, I'm going with Raffaello. And I need to ask our audience, what color is Raffaello? Which color was he? The audience, no, they don't. They doff. They haven't got there yet. They blue. Blue's just. Gary, what color is my shirt?
Blue.
Blue is my favorite. What color my ass? Blue. Love it. Right.
Now listen, what's this number 19?
Number 19.
Everybody's waiting.
Yeah, all good things come to those who wait. So number 19. 19 is the number of South African drivers. We believe that they're going to be around about 40 cars. Some of our audience are going early. They found their Uber. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening. And on that note, if you ever feel like coming to join us, come to Higher Ground and add your comments. So we expect around about 40 cars in the 9 hour.
Correct.
40 times 3. Gary, quickly, maths, 120.
Yeah.
And there are 19 South Africans. 20 out of 120 is, whatever the percentage is, it's a murder lot. 19 South Africans. I'm going to read through their names. Most of them are confirmed. Some of them, we know.
We are waiting for the inside info.
We know who you are. We're just waiting for details. So first of all, and they're 2 sets of brothers.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been, and there'll be another 2 sets of brothers because the Vavish brothers will be there as well. Kelvin and Sheldon.
They're not South African.
No, but we're talking about brothers in races.
Checking on you.
3 sets of brothers in one race is kind of, Gary,
becoming a family affair.
Focus, Brew. Right, so Sheldon, Kelvin van der Linde, David Perrell, and Jordan Pepper. Those are our regulars on the GT series in the world. And just in case you haven't picked it up, GT racing is the dog's bollocks. It's just unbelievable. And then our newest semi-permanent, in fact he's almost permanent, our newest GT3 driver from South Africa, Gennaro Bonafide, the Giraffe, has confirmed that he's driving in Spain in the GT in a BMW. So congratulations, G.
Yeah, on the 23rd.
Gary, he's driving for a German team, and you know how Germans are Germaning.
Yeah.
And I went to my friend, our legal department, first of all, to clear it. And is there a German word for giraffe? Well, there is. And you know what it is?
Giraffe.
So the giraffe will be in there, and then we're going to start reading names and work out, do the math, China. Michael van Rooyen. Remember, we had Gennaro Bonafide and then Michael van Rooyen. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Franco and Silvio Scribanti with Andre Bezuidenhout in a Porker.
Franco and Silvio.
That's what I said. Gary?
Okay. Just want to make sure everybody else out there understands.
Anybody know anyone at Phonak? Because Gary needs them. Kishore Patamba, Michael Stephen, Lee Thompson.
Yes.
In a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it is the 488 that is alleged, but apparently it's not going to be a 488, but we can only hope. Charles Ranges, Craig Jarvis, and David Joubert.
Yes.
In what car, Gary? Are we allowed to say?
No, because he asked us not to, and I would.
Can we hint? It's a GT3 car.
Yeah.
It's Murvelaka.
Yeah. It's very close to an Audi.
Yes, that's Gary. You stepped over the line. Then Saul Hack. And Saul is driving with Andrew Norman Other.
Yeah, and
Andrew Norman Other, A.N. Other, is the most experienced driver in the world. He does many races.
Yeah.
And then we are hoping for Sarel van der Merwe, Greg Mills to bring their Janetta, and one other. See, Andrew Other. He gets there again, which will bring us up to 20.
He's driving a lot of cars, Andrew.
So, guys,
Norman Other.
There's anybody who hasn't got their tickets, hasn't sorted their stuff out for the Kyalami 9 hours, do yourself a favor, wake up, go and do it. If you're not driving, you're going to be there.
I've got a ticket already. I will 100% be there.
Anybody who's a petrol head will be at that race. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think there's so much on offer. You're going to be, I think if you're going to look carefully on howler.co.za.
Nice one there, Terry.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that address again?
howler.co.za.
Yeah.
Because you can buy your tickets at
howler.co.za.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Grandstand seats, normal access. I think there's a fan zone, all sorts of things. So I think they want to really create that whole old school type vibe. Move around the track. I think it's 100% that there's no specific seat that's allocated to a ticket. So I think if you want to go from Sunset to Old West Bank Corner or Turn 1, Turn 2, you can move around, which is cool.
And they've got transport laid on, so in your staggering state, you can go from place to place relatively safely. Just suck it up that you're not going to park your car next to the fence and put your bra on. It's an international event. Think of this as the World Cup final of the Rugby World Cup. This is the final event of the Intercontinental GT Championship. Gary, I've blocked off that week that we're going to camp at Kyalami. We're going to do what we do best. It's going to be magnificent. So any questions, queries, comments, ideas? We do have ideas of where the cars are going to be in the workshop and which workshops they're going to be in. It's quite surprising. I know where the Bentleys are going to be. Bentleys are going to be based close to Kyalami. We'll have to get permission from Glen Hall to say where they're going to be.
Okay. Is that how it's going to work? Okay.
I'm told.
No.
So, Glenn, can we say that the Bentleys are going to be in your workshop or not?
And there's a couple of Nissans in another workshop
Terrence
close
Marsh?
to Kyalami. Yes.
Talking about, which brings us swiftly into this weekend.
Okay. So,
because what's coming up?
Just for
The
you
box
guys.
closed.
Yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out, and you guys are going to find out a lot more about this. But we've just had a facility called Race Day TV.
Raceday.tv.
Raceday.tv. They've just started a watch party with this stream. There's going to be other couple of things going on. I want you guys to please keep this name in mind. It's going to probably become.
It is the biggest
one of the
thing
biggest
ever in the world.
Access for motorsport fans in South Africa. So keep in touch with us. We'll let you know how it goes and everything else. But if you want to find out what's going on, a lot of other things, it's called raceday.tv on Facebook, internet, and YouTube.
We spoke earlier about what I'm busy with at the moment. My day job is a handyman, and I have been employed by raceday.tv to build another studio in Joburg. It's super exciting, where Waved Yellow is a partner of Raceday. And as Raceday, we are going off-road racing. Thank you very much to Roy Aubry from
Haval?
I thought it was Porsche Edenvale.
No.
There are a couple parked there.
But Roy drives the fastest Haval in the world.
Yeah.
So Haval, and it follows on from the drive we had in a Haval H1. Now do me a favor. A lot of you are smirking about an Haval, but my eyes were open, not just because they are helping us get to the off-road, this round whatever of the South African cross-country series. Racing Buckies this weekend, brother. So we're going to go and see Janelle and Stuart Thompson.
And Fed.
And we're just going to go and have a look at off-road racing. We're really excited about that. We're going to take our production crew down there and have a good look. So we're super, super excited about it. What else is happening this weekend, Gary?
Wow. For me, probably one of the biggest things, because maybe this kid can do it for the second time. And I know you mentioned earlier, but I'm going back there. Calvin van der Linde stands a chance, besides being the youngest person ever to win GT Masters.
He's got a chance of winning it again. And then he'll be the first South African to win 2 titles in the GT series. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about bikes or anything like that. I'm talking about in GT series. Well, he's the first South African to win 1 title in the GT. So he'll be the first South African to win 2, and I think he'll be the first driver to win 2.
All they need to do is amass 11 extra points. Now, I don't mean he's got to just go to the position and only score. He's got to keep his gap. He's got a gap of 40 points. If he can increase the gap to 11 points by the end of the weekend,
by 11 points.
Yeah, by 11. He must increase it by 11 points.
So he must get 51 points.
Yeah.
Maths is important,
yeah.
Gary.
And if he does that, he will be the second time the GT Masters champion. And let's all hold thumbs. The race is on. There's 2 races, one Saturday, one Sunday. So guys, you know I post the stuff. Keep an eye on it. Be alive on Facebook. Everywhere. Support South African riders.
Drivers. Stewie White's doing his thing in not Hungary.
No.
Who knows? Our production department failed to put it in our notes. David forgot to send us a note. So, David, can you talk to your people about their PR stuff? It's we really do want to support. Do you write on that note?
No. 2 other South Africans in action this weekend. DTM's back. Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW.
Jeez, and I hope BMW have a proper race.
Okay,
because
and Jonathan Aberdeen in the Audi. Now, just to let you guys know, the reason why I bring this up, later on this year, BMW is having a big thing at Kyalami, which has got nothing to do with the 9 hour. But
it's called the M-Fest.
M-Fest. And that DTM car is coming to South Africa.
That's exciting.
Just
say that again?
With Sheldon.
That's exciting.
Okay.
It's fully exciting. Yeah. Gennaro, can you return our message about the M-Fest? Because there's a whole lot of streaming stuff and things we want to do. So anybody who's got contacts with the Giraffe, because we've got to talk up there, because the oak's so tall.
David White, Magnicor this weekend.
Magnicor,
sorry.
Oh, bonjour.
Thank you, David White. Appreciate the support.
It's lekker how, if you don't know stuff, you just ask the audience and they'll come back. David, have a cool drink for us and make a bra in Magnicor for us and see what we can do. Gary, on that note...
Yeah, I've got to do what I do.
You do what you do.
Mr. Wilford, I would like to say thank you very, very much for enlightening our fans out there about the status of where we're going with the Emerald Speed Festival. And guys, we will keep you updated. We'll be working closely with Terry and Emerald Speed Festival as to where, what, why, and how. And all I can say is watch the space, because as they release stuff, we will release stuff, etc., etc. Have a lekker evening. Don't go large without us.
So, Terry, on behalf as spokesman of the Mobil 1 V8 Supercars, or is it V8 Supercars by Mobil?
Mobil 1 V8 Supercars.
Mobil 1, because now I've beginning to like it more and more, because Kevin Harvick drives a Mobil 1 car in NASCAR. Harvick's my man. Now that Matty De Benedetto is there as well, I think that, can we come and road test one of your cars soon?
We've discussed this. Actually, you know what? I would love for somebody, who hasn't experienced it before to actually have a drive. So, Hasty, I think we'll definitely put something on the table to get that thing sorted out for you and come and have a ride.
And I don't feel so bad because there are a couple of older oaks in there who can still win races in those things. Ben Muramduet, you my hero.
Absolutely. We'll have Rolf there. We'll be your driver coach. And we'll sort it out. So we need to ask Swartkops for an hour or two in the morning where we can go and wheel the car out there and go and have some fun.
I'm going to keep you to that. Terry, thank you very much for taking your time out, for joining us, and for being honest and straightforward about the ESF situation.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. And we'll keep the posts coming. We'll keep you updated. The entries are still there. The drivers are obviously still in. We'll keep posting who's going to be partaking in that. And just lastly, the 9 hour, guys, get your tickets, come and watch. I think it's going to be incredible. And you've got South African drivers, international drivers, I think every manufacturer is represented in that race, by the way. So you got to be there. Got to be there.
Talking about got to be there, thank you very much for watching us, joining us for Waved Yellow. Remember, go outside, look up to the moon, and howl from your deepest being. You'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Stay fast, stay lekker, and have fun. Join us next week. Cheers.